Hello and welcome. My name is John Valentine, and in this class we will be talking about how you can use Instagram DMs in order to drive your sales. So as we all know, of course, Instagram is one of the biggest social media platforms and one of the most effective ways for social media marketing. But one of the features of Instagram is actually very underrated, and that is the actual DM or a direct messaging feature, sending messages to other people, receiving messages, and so on. So as you can see on screen, I will be talking about a bunch of different topics in this class, and basically first I'm going to be talking about how you can actually use Instagram, how DMs work, and then I will be talking about how Instagram DMs help your business. Then I'll be talking about how to actually slide into the DMs, how to actually message people, cold message people, people you don't know, people that are following you, and so on. And then finally I'll be talking about some other ways of starting the conversation. And last but not least, I'm just going to give us some final thoughts and the conclusions, so basically summarizing the contents of this class and giving some final tips and tricks. So make sure to stick around towards the end to get all bits of information. But yeah, that's basically all that is covered in this class. So sit back, relax, and make sure to pay attention and take in all this information. Make sure to follow me as well. But other than that, let's get right into the first topic here. So first of all, what exactly are DMs and how does it work on Instagram? Well, as I said, DMs are direct messages. They're a private messaging feature on Instagram that can help you to connect with your audience, with other users on the app. You can go on most profiles and message them, and it helps you connect with other creators, brands, and they can be really used for anything. They can be used for questions, concerns, comments, or just the intent to connect. If you're an influencer, if you're a personal brand, and you want to connect with other people, it's a good idea to use them. If you're an influencer, you want to connect brands in order to work together, or maybe show your appreciation, or whatever it is, you can use that feature. And it's basically also a chance for your company or your brand to humanize your brand. So if you're a company and you're not a personal brand such as an influencer, but you're a product or you're a company itself, you're an actual brand, you can use DMs in order to connect to your consumers, your followers, and so on with various things. So I'll be talking about it a little bit more in the next sections here, but basically you can use them in order to offer anything from questions to concerns to discounts to connecting with them in any way. And the thing that it helps is that people want to buy from people they trust. If you offer yourself a little bit more with them and you want to connect with them on a personal level, it's a little bit different than if you simply show off your product in the posts, in your stories, or whatever it is. So DMs is similar to the texting sort of trend that has become big in the marketing world, where everybody wants your phone number. But DMs can definitely help you connect with your consumer or your brand on a personal level. So let's move on with that, and let's get a little bit deeper into that in the next section here. So let's talk about how DMs can actually help your business. Well, first of all, as I hinted at in the previous section here, it helps you connect with people. It's a chance to connect with current and potential customers in order to answer questions, concerns, comments. If you're, let's say, a little bit of a bigger brand, or not even bigger, but have some kind of following, you might want to check your requested messages in your DMs, and you'd be surprised how many people actually message brands with comments about their products or questions on how it works, questions about their services, and so on. And so I think a lot of people actually neglect that a little bit and don't see it as a chance to connect with them, because if you personally help out a potential customer or anything like that, they will be much more likely to buy because they see that quality customer service. And so as an actual brand or company, it's definitely a great way to be a little bit more personal and directly interact with them, and not just have a sort of PSA to all your followers or all your users, but really get very specific and have contextual help with these people who have maybe specific thoughts and questions that they can't be answered on your website or whatever it is. So overall, how can it help? Well, it builds connections. It increases brand loyalty, as I said. Making that connection, whether it is with a brand or with another creator, that loyalty, that personal interaction is definitely a great bond that you can use in any kind of business setting. And so these DMs, especially nowadays when everything is online, it's definitely a great way in order to connect with new people. It also increases sales. As I said, if people see that customer quality, customer support, and see that you care about them and care about your brand, people will more likely be to buy from a company that is involved and that actually cares about their consumers. So it's a great way for lead generation and increasing sales in general. Another tip would be industry connections. So aside from the fact that you're a brand, let's talk about more your personal brand or actual influencers where it's just you and your personality. This is a great way in order to build connections. You can connect with other influencers, you can connect with brands, and this will in turn also help get your name out there, get your connections in order to use that at a later stage, whatever it is. Maybe you connect with an influencer in a different country, you go to that country, and then once you get there, you can message them again. They already know you. You can collaborate on content or whatever it is. So DMs can actually really help if you just, don't be shy. As I said here, don't shy away. You can just message people, and the worst you can get is no answer or even people saying no. But there's really not much to lose, unless you spam the same person with 100 messages, which nobody should do. But most people like getting messages, in moderation. Of course, if they're an account with 2 million followers, I'm sure they have 20,000 messages or 100,000 messages in their DMs, so it can get overwhelming for some. But if you're a small or a medium influencer, if you have a couple thousand, a couple hundred followers, most likely people will see it. And especially if you connect with people that are not as popular, they will appreciate it more. It will make them feel important, and of course they want to benefit as well. It is a win-win situation. I mean, who doesn't want another connection? There's really no harm in it, and it has a lot of great upsides and a great benefits that it can have. So definitely don't shy away, try it out, and don't be think you annoy people or anything like that. That's a lot of concerns that I sometimes hear from people, is they think they annoy them or anything like that. Just think about it. If you were getting messaged by someone, of course you don't want to sell directly, be like, hey, I saw that you like fishing, do you want to buy my fishing rods? That's probably not a good way to start it, but I'll talk a little bit more about how to message them in the section you can see on the side. I will talk about what exactly to write. But if you're straightforward, if you're just a normal conversation, then you can really engage in that conversation and build that connection on an organic way. So just to end this video here with a quote by Steve Says Social. He says that I've always said conversations start out, and social media is a conversation starter rather than a deal closer. It's where you get to know people, where you make that initial contact. So just keep that in mind. It's not necessarily, as I said, something where you message them to immediately get a sale. It's where you get your name out. It's where you say, hey, this is me, I exist in this industry, what's up? And they will remember that name, and the next time they see you, maybe they will buy from you, and the next time they see you, maybe they will connect with you or whatever it is. So definitely keep that in mind. But let's move on to the next topic here of actually sliding into the DMs. So sliding into the DMs, well, what do you want to do? First of all, you want to identify your loyal fans. So as a brand, start by looking for loyal followers that stand out. Maybe you already know them. Look at your content, look at your posts. Maybe there's someone that comments on every single post. Maybe there's people that like every single post. Their name stands out, their name will appear to you, and you definitely want to DM them, because this is a great chance in order to increase that connection. Let's say you're an influencer, you have 5,000 followers, and there's one person that comments on every single post, always supports you no matter what. It definitely can't hurt to message them and be like, hey, I see you, thanks for the support. That's a great way in order to show your human side, show a little bit more that you care, and you can turn that loyal fan to an even more loyal super fan. So if you do that 100 times a day or 10 times a day or 100 times a week, whatever it is, whenever you feel like it and you have time and you can look at it, that's a great way to start building super loyal fans. So already having loyal fans and then increasing that and taking that connection to the next level. Now again, you definitely want to check your message requests on Instagram and your DMs, people messaging you first, and if they have normal, legitimate, appropriate messages, you can definitely start to engage in a little bit of a conversation. Of course, you don't want to get stuck in an endless cycle, but just simply responding to maybe somebody messaged you 3 times like, hey, I love your new song, or hey, I love that new t-shirt or something. You can just message them back, be like, hey, thanks for the support, stuff like that. They'll definitely love it, because if they take the time to DM you first, they do like you to a certain extent. Of course, you want to be careful in that aspect. If they maybe have hate comments and stuff like that, you can probably just ignore it, or sometimes that can lead to aggravating even more. But if they're positive comments and stuff like that, you can definitely take your time to respond to them, and I think they will really appreciate it. So second of all, what do you say? Well, ask them what they like the most about your product, about your service, about your brand. You can ask them what they want to see. You can ask them if they need help with your products. You can really start that real conversation, and then I think almost immediately they will let you know what they want from you, or what you can do for them. Or maybe it is just a friendly conversation of, hey, how's it going? Hey, thanks for supporting. All right, cool, see you later. So that kind of thing. But definitely want to see what kind of thing you want to say, and maybe you can ask from yourself. If you have, if you're a medium-sized influencer, or if you're whatever influencer, and you have 50 loyal fans in your DMs, you can ask them all, or you can even create a group chat. You can ask them all, hey guys, what kind of content do you want to see next week? And you can ask your most loyal fans what they would want to see, and get some great ideas. So that's a great idea to gather, research ideas, content ideas, branding ideas. Maybe you run a clothing line. Hey guys, would you want to see a hat? Would you buy that? And you'll see what these guys say. And sometimes you can really use them as a creative team and bounce back some ideas. So it's a great idea and great sort of a chamber to use in order to bounce back some of your ideas. You can also use a voice memo, which is a great way, especially if you're an influencer. Maybe if you don't feel comfortable as a brand or as a person, as a company Instagram account, but if you're a personal influencer and your name, face, and voice is already out there, and you use a voice memo like, hey, thanks for supporting, or hey, what are you doing in my DMs? Would you be more interested in a 10% discount if you buy this, and stuff like that? You can definitely use all kinds of voice memos in order to respond to people as well. And sometimes it's even easier if you're just sitting on your couch. You don't want to type out 3 sentences 100 times. You can just do a voice message really quick. It's way more efficient as well. So definitely take that into account as well. Some of the rule of thumb that you want to keep in mind is maybe have at least 10 to 15 DMs daily in any kind of sort of aspect, maybe answering them or even sending them out. So you definitely want to do that because you also need to keep in mind that if you do that too much, Instagram might ban you or sort of suspend your account, because if you message 500 people a day, they might see it as spam. So definitely be careful with that, especially if your account is new. Like if you made your account pretty recently, you actually have a lower limit in terms of messages you can send. If you have a little bit older and more followers, then you can send more messages. But if you have a new account and you suddenly send 200 messages, they just think you're some spam robot or whatever. So definitely be careful with that as well. So don't overdo it, but definitely try to do something like 10 to 15 DMs a day. And so some benefits and tips. Well, as I said, you can get algorithm help, you can do market research, build that trust with your audience. Just try to be genuine and keep asking questions. Keep asking questions that you want to know the answer to in terms of your products, concerns, questions, improvements, whatever it is. It's definitely a great way to throw out your ideas that you have. So definitely something to keep in mind. So let's move on. So what are some of the other ways of starting the conversation? Well, you don't just have to use followers. You can message anybody. You can use it to connect to other brands and creators that you don't follow, that don't follow you. It's a way in order to gain new connections. So, of course, as I said, you can connect with your followers, but a lot of your followers, most of them maybe already know a lot about you. They know what they want, they know your product, and so on. So, definitely don't just keep it to your followers, but reach out to new people. Maybe introduce it and wouldn't really be in your area or your niche. that may have been maybe a big fan of your work as well. So definitely try to reach out to new people in order to expand your horizon. You can use it for influencer marketing. Use DMs to connect with influencers to send out products and other marketing. So don't just use it for customer support or connecting to potential fans, but use it to influencers to be like, hey, if I send you a free shirt, would you post it on your story and stuff like that. So of course that's influencer marketing. It's a whole other thing, but it's definitely also a great way to use that. You don't just have to use their email or business email or other accounts or whatever. So Instagram DMs is definitely a great way to use for influencer marketing as well, and that will in turn drive your sales. Also, lastly, you can use it to collect info. You can send out surveys for market research, or ask for products, or sign ups for your newsletter. Be like, hey, I saw that you liked my last 10 posts. Would you be interested in signing up for this newsletter? Or be like, hey, I just released this new newsletter. Make sure to sign up, kind of thing. So definitely use it for all other things, and sort of not just drives actual sales, but also use it to drive your traffic to other things, which will in turn drive sales, because sign ups for a newsletter are really important and stuff like that. So definitely use that to collect other kinds of information as well. So yeah, that's basically going to be it. Let's wrap it up here in the conclusion and give us some final tips and tricks. So again, Instagram DMs are very powerful in order to drive some sales. You can use it for, helping your existing customers, potential customers, questions, concerns, and so on. You can use it to connect with new people. You can use it to connect with loyal fans and take them to the next level. You can use it to gather information for other conversation starters. Use it for market research and all kinds of things. So Instagram DMs are definitely a powerful tool if you use it in the right way, if you use it appropriately. So definitely keep that in mind as well. You don't want to spam and stuff like that. You want to message appropriately here and there. There are a lot of people out there, so you don't have to message the same people 10 times. If they don't answer, then they probably don't want it. So don't just be confined to that. Find new people, answer them, and so on. So just some final tips and tricks, as you can see here. Use DMs for a month and track your progress. See how many people you message. If you say, okay, I'm going to use it for 1 month, and I'm going to message exactly 10 people every day. I'm going to message exactly 25 people a day. See how many people answer you, and then you can calculate your own open rate, your success rate. Try out different messages. Keep changing and testing messages, and then you can also see which one works the best. If you have an aggressive message like, hey, I have a discount, you should buy it right now. Stuff like that maybe works not as good as, hey, thank you so much for supporting. If you do want to check out my new product, you can use this discount. So as I always say, digital marketing is all about testing and trying and finding what works for you. So definitely do that with your messages as well. Just connect with people, and honestly, my main point for the Instagram DMs is to just try it. There's really not a lot of things that you risk by doing. You're not risking your reputation or anything like that unless you spam people. But if you have a normal message and you message people here and there, you can definitely try it out, and sometimes you'd be surprised at some of the results that you get. But yeah, that's basically going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Also, I do have some news. I have a great new development. I now have a weekly marketing newsletter called Valentine Weekly, where I'll be giving you, digital marketing, social media trends, news, and so on, the most important news of every week, and I'm gonna make it so that you can read the whole newsletter in under 5 minutes. So a lot of information, quickly digestible. So definitely make sure to sign up for that. You can go to tinyurl.com/weeklyval in order to sign up for that. That's the sign up form. So make sure to enter your email there, and stay in touch with everything digital marketing and social media. So again, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit the follow button here on Skillshare as well, and I will be seeing you in the next class. Thank you so much, and goodbye.